Hey, it's Chris Kopf, and welcome back to Experts or Authors. Authors or Experts training course. We're going through the final video for Newsletter System Secrets, and this is video number 5, Contacts Send. All right, so the best part of doing the newsletter and the market report is sending it out because you're done with it, and it usually takes me a little bit of time to get this done like I like it. I try to go through the details and double check everything. And so that's what we're going to do now, is talk about what are the final things that we need to do in order to ensure that we send out a quality newsletter. So the finishing touches, we want to do a final preview. We want to send a test to ourselves. I'll show you how to do that with an email or preview it. And then schedule it and send it to the list of contacts that you want to receive it. So before we showed you how to get your contacts into Constant Contact and how you can set up opt-ins. There's a number of ways to do that, but I usually go back through the last month's emails just to make sure I didn't miss anybody, and usually find a few stragglers that I hadn't added. I try to add people's names to my contact spreadsheet, so then when I get ready to do my newsletter, the last thing I do is upload a new set of contacts that I've recently talked to. These might be new leads or referrals or inquiries or phone calls or texts or whatever, but I try to make sure I am getting those people into my database. So they're going to be cultivated and they'll get some good value out of the newsletter. So here's my newsletter. If I go to the newsletter in Constant Contact, this is in pretty much final form. Same template that you'll receive. You'll see that I made a few updates to the newsletter. So we go just look. I always check up here to make sure the subject is correct. So it's my Crested Butte July 2018 newsletter and market report. And even though it's July, right, the market report is through June because it's the actuals that were completed through the end of June. We can't do a June 2018 market report until all the results are in. As you know, that's dependent upon the agents and their offices or whatever, and that might take a few days up to a week. And I generally try to get my newsletter out by the middle of the month, but there's no deadline. It's up to you. You don't even have to do it every month. In the beginning, I did it every other month, and then people told me how much they liked it, and so I increased the frequency. Some people like to send out every single week or every other week, and I find a month, just with the amount of preparation and the time I put into this, is good for me. All right, so again, here's my market report. The beginning is the cut from, I cut and paste from the market report. So we're going to do just a little bit of an overview in the market report. So this is the market report, and I cut and paste from the narrative in the beginning, and I put that into this portion of the newsletter. Okay, so if you look at the market report here, I have a nice cover slide that's seasonal. This was from the 4th of July. And then this is an infographic. This is a narrative. It kind of gives some more narrative, some bar charts and tables. There's some additional information about single family homes by area, by price range, luxury market, charts about the luxury market, condos and townhomes, charts about or graphs regarding townhomes and condos and different price ranges, the land results, and then we have a summary sheet, and then this detailed page. So that's what the market report is. You'll see that when if in the market report they go ahead and click on this link, and I'll do a preview, and I'm going to show you how to set that link up. Okay, so I don't know why this doesn't give me a full screen, but anyway, maybe if I go like that, no, I don't know. But anyway, if I scroll down here and I say, okay, click on this market report, and there's a little funky character that I'm going to fix. But if you click on this full market report, you'll get the PDF version of my market report. Okay, probably wondering, all right, well, how in the heck did you do that? It's 15 pages, and of course they can download it if they'd like, or they could print it, or they could just go through this market report and read it on their screen. So the way you do that is you add it to media. This is the WordPress interface of my website, and if you go to media and add new, then you'll be able to select the file from your computer, right? And then once it uploads, you'll see this, and you'll click on the edit key to get to the URL, right? So if I go to media, after I upload it, so you can say add new, and you can search, select a file on your computer, right? Or you can drag it and drop it right here. But after you get done, you'll see a list of all the media. So if you click on that right there, you'll see that the URL is right here, and you can copy that. Remember, Control-C on your Mac, or Command-C will copy. And then you can go to Constant Contact, right? And I like to add it to the image. So if you go to this image right here, you can change. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. But if you go to this image right here, remember we've been through this before, you can change the URL right there. And that's where you post the URL that I just copied from my WordPress website. I'm going to cancel that. And then go down here as well to view the full report as a PDF. And I'm going to somehow a weird character got in there, and then I have it right there as well. They can click on that, and sometimes you might want to make that color stand out to that blue color seems to be, with the underline, matches what people are used to for a hyperlink. Okay, and so I've done that for all my listings on the right hand side. I've updated, I added a couple photos here. This one is actually 6 townhomes, so I increased from 1 to 2 photos there. I have this featured video. I'm trying to drive people to this reserve on the East River listing where I have 12 home sites for sale. And then from the blog, right, I've got different articles here. I added this one as well, video cameras in your Crested Butte homes. This one is common. That I've run this same one in the newsletter for like 3 months now, because it's so important to educate buyers and sellers on the math. And then I added this little kind of advertisement, if you will. Many more articles are on my blog. Go ahead and visit my blog here. Go to Chris's blog, and it kind of shows a screen capture of the blog, and then some of the videos, and then the testimonials. Okay, so that's the newsletter that we're going to send out. I want to always click save, and I'll hit preview again. And this is the final test that you can do. You know, you want to just go ahead and click on things. So this takes, if I click on one of these listings, either the text or the image, it takes them to here. Okay, so here's my IDX feed on my website of all my listings. So if I go here, that's the listing for 874 Wildwater Way, and I can click on this URL, right, and copy it, edit, copy, or Control-C to copy it. I copy it and go back to Constant Contact, and if I were, editing this right here, I could hit that pencil and then edit the image and change and paste that URL right there. I just pasted it and then insert, okay? And go ahead and save that, which it already saved it. So if I look at the preview, it's going to take me right to that page so they can see this listing in detail, all the great images that I have, and the description of this listing, the price point, etc. So that gets them to all the listings and drives them to my website. Now, remember, if you don't have your listings on your website, you can also just take them to the MLS, right? And I'll just take you back to show you again. just as a reminder how that works, right? So I'm going to log into my MLS. If I go to my info and then look at my listings, I can go to this Wild Water Way. And if I was going to email this listing to somebody, I could say, yeah, I want to send the client full detail and select that listing and email that. And there's the URL, or there is the URL behind that hyperlink, right? But I can click on that URL and copy it, go back to Constant Contact, and remember I can go back and edit this and use that URL instead, okay? So I could put that URL I'll just go ahead and do that just as so if I click change and I go here, Control V and then insert, okay, and I'm going to save that. I'm just going to show you, if I go back to preview and now I click on this, it's going to take me to the MLS listing instead of my website. So either one is fine. Either one is going to give the people that are looking at your newsletter the information they desire about the listing. Either one will pacify your seller to show them that you're marketing and you're doing things to help promote their listing. But I would rather send people to my website. So, I want to use the URL that is on my website, because I always want to try and get folks to go to my website because it helps with my search engine optimization, and there's a lot of other things on my website that they can do to I'll go ahead and change that and save just again and preview, and now if I go back here, it brings up the listing of my website. So the reason I want to take them to the website is, when you're on my website, you might say, oh, I want to go read his blog, and there's, information about my articles that I've written on my blog, or I'm interested in selling my home. What do I need to know? And there's a video about, I got an issue right here with this video. All right, so I'm going to go look at that and figure out what's going on. So there's the YouTube video. So if I go to YouTube, here's all my videos. I'm just going to search. Let me see. That's going to search everywhere. Where is my video regarding? I could do it this way. Sometimes YouTube isn't the easiest to search. Let's see here. I want to find that video for selling. I know we're getting out of the context of the newsletter, but I just want you to know that I'm in this with you, and I'm doing the same things that you are doing. Complete guide to selling your mountain dream home. Okay? And so I'm going to copy that URL, and I'm going to go back to this page, and first of all, I'm just going to see if that's the same URL. No, it's not. So anyway, I'm going to paste that, and then I'm going to say update. All right? So if we go back to, sell your Crested Butte home, see the mission of Coldwell Banker Luxury. Ooh, that was Coldwell Banker Luxury. I don't know why I had that video on there. So Coldwell Banker Luxury redefined and preview changes. What's going on with that page? All right, list with us. Maybe that's the wrong. Okay, I was on the wrong page. So let me edit this page. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and delete this video. And I'm just gonna, there's something happened with that video, so I'm just gonna change this to sell your Crested Butte home. Okay, so I'm doing this real time, and that was, I'm going to go ahead and update that. So whenever you're perusing your own website and you see there's a broken link or there's an issue, you might want to, there it is, it's fixed, and here it's fixed. Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and edit this page, and I'm gonna just change this as well. And save that. Okay, so a little bit of a sideline there, but that just goes to show you that you're always, if you understand what you're doing and you're managing your assets, and these digital assets are important, then very good. All right, so you can also just send an email, and you can say this is a test, and you can send both the HTML and the text versions. So I sent this email to myself. Here's the email address, and you might have a special email or some assistant that you want to send that to. And so I'll go and find my email, and it usually doesn't take a second to pull that up. And so here's the text version of the email that I got. Some people don't want to receive a HTML email, and here's the text version. It's really kind of ugly, and so you want to see the HTML version. This is the draft, okay? And by default, Constant Contact says this is a test, but this is what it's going to look like when they get the newsletter, right? And look how nice that looks. And it's just like what we saw in the template. And again, you can go back through every single hyperlink and click on these things to make sure they're working. Click on this one. So there's the listing. You can click on, see the real estate market report. They're going to be able to download that. All of the things that, you want to see are going to be in here. And then you can go ahead and send this. All right, so there's our test email. Everything looks good. So I'm going to come back to Constant Contact, and I've got, just double check my header, Crested Butte, July 2018 newsletter and real estate market report. And the market report again is June. It's the previous month. And I'm going to go ahead and say continue. And now you get to see the subject again, the pre-header text, Crested Butte Real Estate Insights and Market Report. And it's coming from me. And I'm going to add it to my email list. I'm going to select all. And then I'm going to deselect the agents. Okay, I don't want to send it to the other agents in my market. Okay, so I'm sending this to all of my lists that I have, and except for the agents in my market. And I'm going to go ahead and schedule this to go now. And Google Analytics, I could send this up for Google Analytics. I don't do that, but you could. And then I'm going to go ahead and say send now. I could also send it later. I could schedule it for tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., but I really want to get this sucker out, and so I'm going to go ahead and schedule it for right now. Additional, please correct the errors below. Oh, okay. So select the list and then click save. There, and so the list is populated up here, and it's going to 4,116 recipients, and I'm going to go ahead and send it now. And it takes a few minutes to send, but I'm clicking send or schedule, and bam, there's my, it says nice work, your email's ready to launch, and I'm on the list. So when it actually goes, I'll get a copy of it myself, and that is how you send your newsletter out. If you go back to campaigns, you can see that it's scheduled. All right. One of the things you can also do is you can, if for some reason I sent this out and then I'm like, oh crap, I remember I had 50 new people. I had an open house, or I had a bunch of new contacts that contacted me and I didn't put them in the list. You can go back and you can copy the newsletter and resend it to the other 50 people that you didn't send it to. Does that make sense? So you can send them the same thing. So sometimes you might have that. And I use Constant Contact also. You can see for open houses. I use it to sometimes just send another email out to my client base. But, it keeps track of all of your, the emails, campaigns that you've sent. And so anyway, that's it. So I hope you have enjoyed the, tools in the newsletter. And this newsletter is going to help you to be an expert in your market. It's going to help you attract affluent clients. It's going to give you credibility and authority. And it's a nice bow that wraps all this stuff up. Your blog post, your market report, your listings, your videos, all of the content that you might have. And it's a great way to be an expert in your market. So that's the end. And go out there and send out newsletters. Get your system set up that you can replicate every single month. The first time you do it, it'll take you a little bit longer, but you'll soon be doing it with ease and frequency, and it'll help you grow your business.